So today we're going to talk about the UFO industry, the extraterrestrial industry, and something that is a little involved, what I call how to attack the ET believers. Because we all know that there are ET believers, what we call the so-called UFO expert, what we call, the believers, what we call the experiencers, what we call are the contactees, right? So there is this group, and within society, in society, people believe we are not alone. Now, these are hundreds of millions of people, right? Hundreds of millions. And as we go up, that number shrinks, right? Tens of millions to millions. And there are many experiencers, many believers. They're just not public, right? Not everyone is public, right? And because if you go public, you were perceived as a nut, right? A nut cake, right? Cereal with nuts. That's so people don't want to. There is every reason not to go public, right? You are compelled to shut up. And a lot of it comes down to evidence. And, right, evidence. And who controls the evidence? Well, that's classified. Who controls the evidence? Right? Who controls the? I'm not going to answer that question. Who controls the evidence? It's classified. Who can classify stuff? I'm not going to answer that question. Because we all know who it is. It's not these people. These people don't have the evidence, right? They have the experience. Now, we're going to focus on, the ET believers. The ET believers are resilient. Okay? You will not change their mind because they've seen too much. They know too much, and they've studied it. Now they've studied it. And there are many people now talking about it online, chat rooms, and podcasts. So this remains, despite all of the attacks, we are still talking about ETs. We're still talking about extraterrestrials, star people, star beings. There still are contactees, right? People still believe this stuff. Now, how do you, as the master controller, right? How do you, if you're the master controller, how do you ruin these people? And there are, I'm going to show you 4 ways, 4 methods, okay? And how the master controllers have damaged, hurt, and destroyed lives, and crippled the, this disclosure contact, day of contact. So I'm going to show you 4, let's say, branches. We're going to say branches. And it's all based on this evil alien propaganda. Okay? That's what it's based on. If you can't read it, I'm sorry. Branches of evil alien propaganda. Why? Because if this is an extraterrestrial and this is a human and they love each other, okay? This is an ET and this is a human and they love each other, then we win. Okay? We win. Everybody starts talking about it. We win. So the only way to beat the believers are based on heart, love. We love these people. We are attached. You will not change us. It's all based on heart. So how do you destroy a relationship on love? Because they cannot have human beings love ETs. No way, no how. You can't say they're cool and neat. You can't admire them. You can't respect them, because then you start listening to them and you don't listen to the master controllers, right? This all comes from the master controllers. Call them what you want. You call these people what you want, whatever. They're master controllers. So the way to destroy a relationship is to use various forms of evil alien propaganda. So these are the branches. And I'm showing you the branches not as a theory, but actually what they've used over the last 70 years to destroy the UFO community, the contactee community, the experiencer community. This evil alien propaganda has been used effectively to destroy this potentiality, okay? And that's why we don't have disclosure. Okay, this is tied to disclosure. Now, there are deeper levels I won't get into because we don't have the time, but the branches are going to help you understand at sort of the societal level, at the community level. The first branch was to invent this, the Hollywood space monster. Okay? Invent the Hollywood space monster. Now, I did a study, my own study. I watched all the alien films from about 1950 to 2012. So this is about 8 years ago. I watched 250 alien films. Okay? I watched. I'm going to write that down just in case you don't believe me. Because you guys this is my research. I watched 250 alien films. So you do, let's say 2 hours each. Okay, that's 500 hours of research. Just watching, and some I watched multiple times. So thousands of hours of research. And I studied the alien character, right? The alien character in these films. Why would I study the alien character? Because that tells me when you invent a character, that shows, right? That shows motive, it shows intent, it shows the belief of the writer or filmmaker or the producer, right? The money. Even it's a good writer, but the producer says, do this, do this, do that. So the writer is at the mercy of the producer, the money. I found, in short, and I wrote a book on this, Hollywood Aliens. I found, in short, 91% of all of these films, 91% depict an evil alien. 91%. 91%. And about 95%, the 4%, they're kind of ambiguous. You can read it both ways. But 95% is essentially, derogatory. A space threat, a monster, they want an invasion. They gotta have an invasion. Okay? So the Hollywood space monster, so these films, this is what I've noticed. Of 250 films, which almost all the films made, 91, I would say 95%, the alien is an evil alien monster. Okay? So, what are the characteristics? Mass murderer, serial killer. There's an end of the world, right? The invasion. There's an invasion. Film like War of the Worlds, Independence Day, Battle LA, right? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, snatching bodies, etc. Okay? This is the characteristic of the Hollywood space monster. So let's say even we use that figure, 91%, they're mass murderers, serial killers, and they're at some kind of end of the world scenario. There's an all-out invasion. Right? So this is planet Earth. Okay, this is Earth, our poor little planet. And this is some other galaxy, some other star system. And so the aliens travel all the way over here to kill everybody. Why? Because they got nothing better to do. Right? Travel to another planet to kill everybody. This is supposed to be intelligent, advanced, right? People. Intelligent, advanced people. They got nothing better to do to come here, and in many cases they come here to get our water. Okay? I mean, these movies are invented by morons of water. So that's the first branch, and they've sold, billions and billions of box office What kind of box office? Worldwide. So what are they selling? What are they selling? They're selling propaganda. That's it. This is alien propaganda. What do they want you to believe? What do they want you to believe? That all aliens are evil. Don't trust them. And they want to kill us. They want to kill us all for the water. Don't trust. Okay? So remember before I said there's an alien and there's the human and there's love. Well, there's no love because they're evil. Don't trust them. They want to kill us all. And here's the proof. Movie after movie. We got to stop the alien invasion. So this has gone on since the 1950s. So that's 70 years. 70 years of propaganda. And like I said, let's say 95% are this, and the 5%, right? It's 95% versus 5%. This is evil. This is evil, and this is ambiguous. Maybe good, but so this is the brainwashing. This is all brainwashing. So even though we don't know what we believe, and some of us believe they're good, the world has been brainwashed by lots of propaganda. So why don't we have a disclosure? Why don't we have ships in plain sight? Because people believe they're evil, right? And if there are ships, the media will portray them as evil, as an invasion. And who controls the media? The master controllers. Now, some of you know this picture, but not all of us know this picture. The other branch number 2, there's an evil alien agenda. What's the evil alien agenda? This now is going through the UFO expert. Okay, the UFO expert. They're fed information, right? And there are also fake experts who are undercover intelligence agents who are trained to deceive, right? They are to deceive. And then the good people are fed information. Where do you get your classified information from? From the military, from intelligence. Okay, so you're not getting it from the star people, right? Then you're not getting your information from the star people. You're getting it from here. So what did these people say? When I started in this business, what did these experts say? Well, the aliens are mutilating cattle. Okay, so that's not good. They're evil. They want our genetic material. That's why they're abducting people, experimenting on, right? They're experimenting on people. And then you get some of the experts would say, well, there's going to be a day of contact, right? And they'll say maybe it's in August 31st. And then August 31st goes by and they say, well, it's been changed to September 17. And then they say it's changed to November 12 because there were some problems. And then they'll say it's changed to December 5th, and then there's problems. And what they do is they just keep leading you on, right? They just keep leading you on. And now it's I was listening to this in 2003, and 16 years later, nothing. But they just keep leading you on. This is another way of deceiving people, right? Get their hopes up. Get your hopes up. Okay, I talked to the Arcturians, and they're coming on June 6th. June 6th, ships. Okay, June 6th, nothing. You lose hope. And then they come back a few weeks later and they say, no, it's going to be July 31. There were some problems. They were attacked by the military. This is the day. Yeah. Okay, hope up. August 1, nothing. Okay? Years and years of deception. Where did these days of contact come from? From the UFO experts. And from people who were supposedly talking to star people. But obviously we're not talking to star people, because this never happened. There's never been a day of disclosure or contact. Right? Aliens are not taking the genetic material, because you can manufacture DNA in a computer. Why would you need to take genetic material? Cattle mutilations, if some cattle were mutilated at some point, not all cattle were mutilated by aliens. I mean, this is the MyLabs people, and we're going to talk about them next, right? The MyLabs people, they noticed maybe some aliens taking some cattle, and they say, hey, why don't we do it? And chop them up and blame the aliens. Why don't we take some genetic material and blame the aliens? Why don't we get our people in here, our fake expert, to say, hey, there's going to be a day of disclosure, and always give them another day. And what you do is you destroy people's hopes. Okay? You destroy people's hopes. And people lose interest. They lose faith. They lose love, right? Love. If you're in a relationship and your boyfriend or girlfriend always cheats on you, you feel cheated. You lose faith in the relationship. You also had these implants. For many years they talked about implants. They talked about probes, right? Probes up the, you know what. So, and then on top of all of this stuff, you have people come out and say, oh, love and compassion. Love and compassion, that's all they want. That's all they want. And these people are deluded too. It's all a delusion. Okay? So these guys, they're all part of this. They're all part of this agenda, because one fake expert is talking about the day of disclosure. Another fake expert is talking about cattle mutilation. Another fake expert is talking about love and compassion. I talked to ETs. I talked to the ETs. They want to just have love and compassion. All of it, all of these people, they work for the master controllers. How can I be sure of that? How can I be certain? There's never been a disclosure. No disclosure. That's proof. How can I be certain that who is controlling all of this stuff? Who is controlling all of this stuff? Who is controlling the evil alien agenda? The experts, all this fake information, false dates and promises, broken promises, right? Mutilations, genetic, all of this stuff. There's no disclosure. So who controls it? The master controllers. So branch number 2. The branch number 2, right? Well, branch number 1 is attacking the public. Branch number 2 is attacking the believers, because they're listening to this. That's where they get their information from. So you had branch number one. You had, right, the space monster. Okay, and that was against the public. You had branch number two, which is the evil alien, and that's against the believers. Now, so these people at some point, they lose interest, right? They are dismayed, depressed. Because they told their friends, oh, there's going to be, the ships are coming, Ma. I promise you, I'm not crazy. No ship. No ship. Okay, you're crazy. You need to be on medication. And these guys are, the master controllers are laughing. They're laughing. Now, within this group, some people, they know better, right? So these are the hardcore. You can't shake them. They don't care if they're embarrassed, and they got a lot of research. They may have even credentials. They got books. They got followers. So we need to go after these people too, right? So step one is this MyLabs. MyLabs, military abductions. Okay? Military abductions. So what they do is they take people in the night and they drug them, or gas. They sometimes use a gas, and then they do psychological torture. A lot of the psychological torture comes right from the CIA handbook. I'm sweating here. A lot of the psychological torture comes from the CIA handbook, right? And a lot of this I had to deal with when I was going through my process. And they go right into they do hypnosis / brainwashing, and they'll say, because they'll visit somebody and they say, oh, I believe in aliens. Aliens are good. Okay? And they'll say, no. Aliens are evil. They want to hurt you. This is the propaganda, right? They want to hurt you. They're bad people. They're evil. They're going to destroy the planet. They want to destroy everything and everybody. Aliens are bad. And so after a few visits, this person is now scared of aliens, right? This is the MyLabs, right? Because MyLabs, what do? They visit a contactee. They've met real star people. They've been visited by the Greys, right? I've been visited by the Greys. They'll go down there, they'll inject them with drugs, and they'll say, no, aliens are evil. Now, if you resist that, if they can't change their mind, then they'll go usually in this kind of psychological attack, they'll go into sexual attack. Gay, bi, right? They'll go gender. They attack the gender because sexuality controls people, right? And they'll have people thinking, am I gay? Am I bi? Am I what, right? So now you're thinking about your sex. You're thinking about your orientation. You're thinking about your love life. Okay? That's all you're thinking about because that's what the psychological torture did. So now you're a contactee. All you're thinking about is this. If all you're thinking about is this, you're not thinking about your star people, right? I gotta figure myself out. I gotta figure myself out first. I don't want to talk to star people. I'm confused, right? And they're doing this to this day. Contactees are people with connection to star people. Connection to star people. You attack this. And what do you see in the news? What do you see in the news? This. Gender. Because as long as you're thinking about this, you will never think about this. Right? So you will never have that. So this is on a large, this used to be years ago, used to be on a small scale. Now it's on a large scale. And now people now are experimenting with their sex, with their orientation, with their love life. And I'm not against any of that. I'm not against any of that. Of course, my work is with star people, right? Stellans. Our heritage. Well, you can't get to your heritage. You can't get to your star heritage if you're too busy trying to figure out who you are and what your orientation is. My feeling, I guess, my approach is different. My approach is that what the bigger picture is this. This is the big picture. What's your stellar heritage? But now they got people focused on this. And in some cases, they will hypnotize people, and they will tell them, you are going to be famous. And the guy will run out and say, I've decided to be an actor. And you tell another person, you're a prostitute, and she becomes a call girl or a prostitute. And another person, you say, you want money. You need money. You want money. Then they start a business. They would become money. But they're being hypnotized. And all of it is to keep them away from exploring this. And this has been going on for years, right? Because you don't even you don't even have to say aliens are evil anymore, because there's a good amount of information now. So now they go to the gender, and they go to this. They play on people's, right? What do I want to be when I grow up? Well, you got to be famous. If they want to ruin somebody, they just hypnotize them and say, when you wake up, you're going to look into prostitution. You can make a lot of money. And then you say, well, you chase money. You want to be rich. You don't want to be poor. And so people wake up and they say, I'm going to open up $1 million company. And then this is when you get people say, I have decided, I had a dream last night, and I want to be famous. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be on a stage. I believe I'm going to be on a stage. And although we don't know exactly what happened, this is going on behind the scenes. Okay? So this is a very complex thing, but you can see the progress, right? This is attacking the public perception, right? Shock and awe, hearts and minds. This is the attacking the believers, right? Evil alien agenda. Actually, the aliens, they want our genetic material. They're here for an invasion. Oh, they're going to show up. The ships are coming. Oh, they didn't show up. Oh. Then there are these guys out here who approach the contactees, experiencers, and they just confuse the hell out of them. Because as long as you're confused, if all you're thinking about is who you are and being famous and what kind of gender you want to have today, you're not thinking about this, that you have to bypass all this stuff in order to get to your heritage. And for some people, it's a lot of work. And some people, they're lost here. There's just too much information, too many years. This is going on for 20, 30 years, right? So the third branch is psychology, but they can attack people in their dreams. They can attack people in the night. They can drug people. And they have the technology, right? My Labs has, this is the space program. They have the technology, the stealth ships. They can show up in your place and they can gas you and they can hypnotize you and they can implant fake memories. And they can, we've talked about this before, they can implant fake memories, right? We've talked about this. This is a space program. So they have the ships, right? Stealth, cloak. So they can show up in your place. They can also do dream attacks, and they can do memory. They do have memory implants, so that they can do a psychological program, and they can implant these fake beliefs, right? What do I want to be? I want to be famous. I gotta have money. Look into prostitution. You know, look into think about this, think about that. They can implant that, and then they'll periodically visit people, and they'll continue that, right? So people never get out. They never get out of this mindset. The fourth branch, the last one we're going to talk about today, and I've talked about it before, the fake aliens. So you've got these hardcore believers. Okay? They don't believe the movies. They don't believe the evil alien. Okay? You've attacked, they're not afraid of my labs. Okay? They're tough. The hardcore. They believe there are these ETs, right? There are these aliens. So we want to know what kind. We want to know from where, right? We want to know what do they want. We want to know what is my star heritage, right? These guys, they're very tough and smart. They have a strong intuition. They haven't been dismayed. Most of the world's been dismayed. They're lost. They know they have an ET connection. They know they have extraterrestrial, but they don't know what kind. They can't remember. They've been attacked so many times. They don't have they don't know what kind. They don't know where the ETs are from. They don't know what the ETs want. They don't know their star heritage. They want to know, where am I from, right? Where am I from? First question you ask, what planet? So these people, they want real contact. So the My Lab people created the fake alien. People like these people, the Pleiadians. We offer love and compassion. We are from the Pleiades. We love you. So these guys who've been beaten and have lost a lot of faith, but they hung on. What do they say here? We love you. Oh, I'm home. I feel like I'm home. We love you. Pleiadians. And then they say, you are a Pleiadian. That's why we reached out to you. And then they start making up stuff. We want this and that and this. It's all made up, whatever it is. It's all just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Because this is fake. There's no fake. There's a fake alien. Now, some people say, well, I'm not a Pleiadian. I'm not a Pleiadian. Oh, yeah, but maybe you're one of these people. Arcturian. Just in case people complain they can't read my writing. Arcturian. Oh, maybe you're not. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. You are a Pleiadian, but I am an Arcturian. And these are all the benefits. And then another guy says, well, what am I? What am I? I'm not a Pleiadian, but I know I'm something. Well, you are an Orion from the Orion Stargate. But another guy says, well, I'm not an Orion. What am I? Well, you are a vegan, right? You are all this, right? You are something, So you get these fake alien races, and there's many of them. Now, how can they invent a fake alien? Because they've studied aliens for decades, right? They've experimented on them. They have ships. They have databases, right? So they have all this information. My labs, they use all this information and they compile it, right? And then they create race A, race B, race C. And then the MyLab people, they go visit somebody and they say, well, he says he's not a Pleiadian or an Arcturian, right? Because they're psychological, they're attacking them. They say they're not a Pleiadian, not an Arcturian. They want to know what they are. So they say, well, okay, well, let's create another one. I know it's love. I know it's from here, this star. They said, let's get another race, right? And then we've got the Andromedans. And then people say, hey, right? People are going to say, hey, I'm more of an Andromedan. I'm not an Orion, and then I'm not a Pleiadian. And then they say, well, the Orions are at war with the Arcturians. They're fighting. And now you've got this whole soap opera. You got a mess. Look at this mess. Can you guys see this mess? You see this mess. But what happened to the star beings? What happened to the stellans? It's so simple, right? These people come from other planets. What happened? What happened to the stellans? It's lost. You can see this, right? I mean, we're going over this fairly quickly, but look. As long as you're thinking about Pleiadians, you will not get to your star heritage. As long as you're being attacked by my labs, you will not get to your star heritage. As long as you believe this, Orions and the Arcturians. And let me just say, let me just say that I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the Andromeda, there are no star people here. Right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. In the Andromeda galaxy, there are 1 trillion stars, okay? 1 trillion suns. This is our galaxy, and we've got planets right? One star, and this is Earth. Okay, I'm not an astrophysicist, but I don't have to be. So we got 9 or 10 planets, one star, one habitable planet. Now let's go over here. 1 trillion stars. Let's just for humor, let's say there are 1 trillion planets. Right? Let's just, for a sense of humor, right? I got 1 star, I got 1 planet. So let's say 1 trillion stars, there's 1 trillion planets in the Andromeda galaxy. Okay? I haven't been there, I don't know, but let's just say for the sake of argument and a little humor. So a guy comes from the Andromeda galaxy and says, I am an Andromedan. Well, which planet do you come from? Right? Because Earth, we have Chinese people, we have Iranians, we have Ugandans. We got a lot of people here. So if a Chinese astronaut travels, says, I am Chinese from Earth. Right? They don't say I am, I'm a Solarian. They don't say we are the Solarians from the solar system. This is not the solar system. It's a solar system, but there's a star and there's a planet and there are different races, cultures. So 1 trillion stars, 1 trillion planets, there's got to be a lot of cultures. That's my argument. That's my proof. No one would say I'm an Andromedan, because that means you own the entire Andromeda galaxy. That means every trillion of the trillion planets, they all look the same. And on our planet, we have, a lot of different races. And we can go through we've done this, we can go through the list of all of the fake aliens. I'm not saying there's no star people in the Andromeda galaxy. I'm just saying they're not Andromedans. There's 1 trillion, there could be 1 trillion, there could be 5 trillion cultures. So, in review, we have, they have attacked the ET believers. And whether you like it or not, you're part of it. Because you got the space monster, you got the evil alien agenda, you got my labs attacking people, and you got the fake aliens. Right? How are we going to get disclosure if we can't get to the truth? What's the truth? How do we get to the truth, right? Because by the time you get through all this, you're quite old and you're a mess. You've got all kinds of information, all kinds of disinformation, all mixed up. And that's how they have separated the ET from the human. So the love is not there. Okay? So people who think the disclosure is straightforward. We have to cut through this noise. You have to let go of anything that doesn't make any sense. And you got to hang on to things that are true. Hang on things that make sense. Hang on. Listen to people who make sense, right? And be wary that there are in the database of experts, there are these these intelligence agents who may or may never be discovered because there's a risk, right? They may remain undercover because that's safer for them, or they may just disappear. They just lose and they disappear, and they get allocated some other duties. They get some other mission. So there's a reason why that this whole UFO business is a mess. And these are the four branches that have caused these problems. And we haven't gotten into the intelligence and the military stuff in the space programs. We haven't even gotten in. There's more stuff. But this alone has really damaged our progress towards disclosure. So, something to think about.